guys, we are back here in the GSL. Code A, this is the round 3, the final round. We just saw Dongre-gu get knocked into the up and downs, and Noble S, somebody I think most people did not expect to make it even out of the first round of Code A, is now in Code S.
Yeah. Noblesse in Code S and DRG in the up and downs. There you have the results with the 2-1. The Terran player was able to defeat the Zerg here.
Yeah, Dongre-gu, a lot of people disappointed by his defeat, but he's not out of it yet, and he'll have a very good shot of getting back into Code S with his up and down performance.
Exactly, and from TVC number 1, we are heading into TVC number 2. We have the next game up in a few minutes with Zerg versus Terran, and it's going to be BBoongBBoong versus YoDa.
Now, this is going to be a pretty exciting match as well. I think YoDa is somebody that people are not talking about enough. BBoongBBoong is somebody that I think he's struggling right now. He was one of the best rising players, then he kind of hit a plateau. This could be his moment to break out of that and get into Code S, but YoDa, man, he is on a tear right now, and I can't imagine him losing this series.
I really want BBoongBBoong to win. BBoongBBoong is one of those guys who always was so close. He was always so close, and this time he might be able to dodge the up and downs and to go straight to Code S. I would really wish him. I like YoDa, and I think that YoDa also deserves to be in Code S, but let's be honest about it. Who in the third round of Code A does?
Exactly. Well, look at BBoongBBoong's glasses, man. Imagine if those were aviators. That could actually hit.
You mean that picture of him could actually look good?
Well,
I think that's a horrible picture of BBoongBBoong, to be completely honest with you.
I like his glasses, but I think the picture definitely paints a strange picture of who BBoongBBoong really is.
Yeah, that picture is, I mean, I look at this and I'm like, that's not really BBoongBBoong, I don't know.
I'm like, that's nerd BBoongBBoong. That's like BBoongBBoong in a library. But
yeah, library BBoongBBoong.
I actually like the glasses, but like in that picture specifically, it doesn't look very good, I feel. I wonder if he's wearing them right now in the booth. We're going to find out. No! See? He looks very different.
Yep. YoDa looking sharp here.
He does look sharp, man. He looks dangerous. I'd say that black LGIM shirt just makes anybody look good. I want to wear one and look good.
That Team MJ shirt is not too bad. Every single time I say Team MJ, I think a huge amount of like screaming Michael Jackson fans are running into the group.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for Michael Jordan as well. That comes to mind as me. MJ for Michael Jackson comes first.
Well, if Michael Jordan comes into that room, I will actually do the screaming.
Well, I would just calmly approach him. I'd be screaming inside.
You wouldn't probably even recognize him, man.
I would so. Listen, he would look very different from everybody I've ever seen come into the studio, okay? Now, loading up here, our map number 1 is going to be Belshir Vestige, Zerg versus Terran BBoongBBoong up against YoDa here at the GSL. Round 3, Code A, cast by Power and Roll.
So the top left starts the player for Team MJ, and as mentioned, that doesn't mean Team Michael Jackson, that actually stands for Major. And it is of course the Zerg called
MJ BBoongBBoong.
He actually moonwalked into the studio today.
Yes. Got that star on his shirt. His opponent for...
What is that in front of his keyboard?
I don't know. What is this in front of my intro? It's a counter.
I'm sorry.
His opponent for the team LGIM.
LGIM YoDa.
He is. It didn't work out like it.
That wasn't so bad. That was like I want to hit you with something. I want to hit you with my...
Stop taking that chair apart. One day you're not going to be able to put it back together and you're going to regret it.
I'm sorry.
It's like when people do that weird
like
stuff with their eyes. You know, and your mom's like, listen, if you keep doing that with your eyes, one day it's going to get stuck like that.
The eyes? That's something I always told with the...
Well, just
actually,
anything with your face. Like, any weird thing with your face, like, if you keep doing that with your nose, it's going to get stuck like that.
I was always told if I put a cap on my head like weird and it puts my ears to the side, that my ears would be like this and would look like Dumbo. That's what my mom always told me. I believe that stuff, man.
Well, that's scary, though.
That's actually, yeah, that's the most horrible stuff that parents can do to you.
Even if somebody tells me that today, I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want my ears to be stuck like that. I'm like, I mean, even though this is preposterous, I'm not going to take the chance.
if you lie, your nose is gonna fall off. You're like, well, that's gonna look silly.
That would definitely be weird. I mean, would you rather have a Pinocchio nose or a Voldemort nose, man? Ooh.
What do you
Tough
mean?
question.
That, like the whole Pinocchio thing, that
Well,
if you lie, then it gets bigger, just the big Pinocchio nose?
Just like a medium length, like really long, sticking out Pinocchio nose permanently.
Definitely, I would go for Voldemort.
Yeah, me too, because the Pinocchio nose, even if it's only a few inches out there, it's definitely going to become cumbersome.
It's
Can't
gonna
kiss
become
anybody.
exactly. You want to kiss a girl, you poke her in the eye.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
That's gonna be the last day that you have with her.
She asked you if you're cheated on her, and like, things get really dangerous. And also, you know you can't lie. So
I don't cheat, Wolf.
Well, I mean, what if you? I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things you might do a white lie about. Like, I don't know. Did you do the dishes? Yes, but you didn't.
Yeah,
you're
that could
screwed, man.
Well, right now, focusing a little bit back on StarCraft, what we currently see is pretty normal opening for both of them. You can see we have, of course, for our Zerg player, one Barracks and Expand. No, that's actually what our Terran player did, but the Zerg went into a hatch first pool, and we have it with gas and speed for BoongBoong, which gives him a little bit more flexibility with the opening and the 10 for aggression. And on the other hand, YoDa, starting at the bottom right now with his factory play, is going to head into Reactor Factory Hellions. So no surprise here, very standard builds by both of them. Yeah.
It's true. That hidden SCV is going to continue to hide for a little bit longer, and then he's going to go and check for the third base.
Yeah.
It's a good hiding spot, I would say. On a hide-and-seek game, I probably wouldn't check that spot first.
Yeah, it's like
I would definitely go
this
straight.
is lazy SCV, it doesn't want to work.
Yeah, I would go straight for the line of sight blockers first if I played hide-and-seek on Belcher Vestige. Where would you hide?
Well, I would hide on that map. On one of those islands to the right side, I would swim across this like little thingy, and then I would hide on the island.
You know,
Ha.
that SV definitely not on. I would be a changeling. I'd try to blend in with the range. Nobody would ever find me.
That was actually scary.
This is a lot of lings that BoongBoong made. He went up to 6, and with early speed, he has just so much more aggression he can put on. If he didn't have speed here, YoDa would just be able to micro against the lings and be fine and just chase them away. But with speed there, he can't quite do that. He has to wait a little bit longer for his Hellions to pop out.
Third command center is nearly done here for YoDa, and well, YoDa is now not losing the SCV. He lost a lot of mining time. Well, not really. He didn't really lose the mining time. He mined in his main base, but he couldn't just saturate two bases, which would have been a little bit better.
It's basically, you could say he lost some mining time. He lost some mining time with the natural. And you know what's cool is BoongBoong actually saved every single one of those links. He didn't lose a single one.
Yep. Man, BoongBoong is good. That guy is scary.
Yeah, he is really scary, man. Especially when he puts some cheeseburgers in his hands.
Oh yeah.
Definitely going to need a nose plug a little bit later on.
Two engineering base for YoDa right away before we see any upgrades for his opponent. BoongBoong with a lot of gas floating here.
350 gas with no lair tech started. Is he just going to make a Baneling Nest and go for a massive wing attack?
But
I don't
then
think
he
so.
would have started already.
Yeah,
this
I'm
is like
sure.
awkward. This does
Did he
not
forget
make
to make
a lot
his lair?
of sense. I think so.
I think he just forgot to get his lair. He wanted to have it earlier. This is definitely a little bit weird for him. Having that much gas means he lost a lot of mining time.
That lair timing with the amount of gas that he had and the late evolution chambers just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, what is he going to do? Make a Spire and an infestation pit right away?
I mean, he goes for the double upgrades now, so he will get rid of some of his gas and goes also for the Baneling Nest, but the timings could have been much better here, especially for his tech.
Yeah. Or he could have mined gas later and had more minerals.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off there. Either way, he's now going to try to transition back to normal play. Meanwhile, YoDa with that third command center is probably going to consider moving it pretty soon. This map is a little bit tough to hold that third base against someone who goes speedling heavy like BoongBoong is starting to do here. Lair is done, and I'm thinking we're going to see Infestors pop out. But with all the gas he has, he could go Mutas as well.
He could go both ways here. It's really a matter of preference at this point. Even if you go for the Spire attack, you can just later on switch into Infestors pretty easily if you want to. And Spire it is. With the gas that he's already banked up, he goes into the Spire attack. And if he continues to mine gas like this, he will actually have a ton of Mutalisks.
He's going to be doing a heavy Mutalisk build if he wants to go into Mutas, because otherwise he's not going to have that timing where you get aggressive with a small amount. So he's probably going to go into heavy Mutalisk composition, and we'll start +1 for his Mutas as soon as that Spire finishes if he wants to do that. Got to be careful with YoDa's pressure here with the Hellions, though. He doesn't have really a ton of Banelings. In fact, he just has none, I just checked. So even though he has 43 Zerglings, as long as the Hellions are paying attention, he's not going to be able to fight them.
Yeah. YoDa's not too aggressive here. He really doesn't want to waste anything. And to be honest, BoongBoong can go for 15 Mutalisks easy here if that Spire finishes.
Yeah, I think he probably will. His Greater Spire, or his Baneling Speed, those are two very different upgrades.
Yeah.
His Baneling Speed upgrade is about to finish as well.
1-1-2, so that's also a thing that he could of course start here. If he wants to go into double upgrades right away, then the Mutalisks numbers will be significantly reduced, and he will only be able to get about 10.
There the Lings down.
Supply blocked at the worst time possible. BoongBoong, what are you doing?
Oh man, that is brutal.
That build doesn't work at all for him. Look how much time he loses. He just started the Overlords when he realized that he supply blocked. And now one Overlord is done. Here comes the second. And now he can start with those Mutalisks.
He's going to go for this attack first though, and he catches so many units.
11 Mutalisks. All the Marines have to be saved by the Medivacs. But here come 12 Mutalisks a little bit later. The build just is not really crisp.
Yeah.
BoongBoong is not playing like bad, but he has a bad build in this game. Something went wrong here.
Yeah, he definitely could have been very much more streamlined with the build for sure.
If you want to hit timings well, then you have to play the build perfectly, and that's what he didn't do. His tech timing was not right, and he also messed up a little bit with the Overlords and his supply. So all of this hits a little bit later, is a little bit off target, gives YoDa a bit more wiggle room, and that's what YoDa uses to build those 4 turrets now.
I think that he probably just forgot to build his lair. That's the thing that seems the most reasonable in this situation.
I think so too. Maybe just the wrong hotkey.
This is catching YoDa a little bit off guard though, because these Mutas are coming in at weird timing, and there's a lot of them, so he's like, wait a minute, whoa, I didn't expect this.
Shouldn't be really caught off guard that much. Usually you expect the Mutas at roughly 11 minutes if your opponent goes for a 2-base Muta play, which is essentially what BoongBoong did with the timings that he got out of those extractors. But as mentioned before, BoongBoong is a Zerg player that transitions, and that's what he does. He has already the Infestation hit, and he goes straight into the Hive Tech. So the Mutalisks will help him to shut down drop play, to put a bit of aggression onto YoDa, to make sure that the Terran player is not getting too cheeky here. But at the same time, it just buys him time, safety, and options to punish his opponent if there's a gap in YoDa's defense.
And YoDa doesn't have any way of pressuring his 4th right now. BoongBoong has had that 4th up for free for so long. He's got not only gas, but a ton of minerals from there. His drone count is at 82, and he's just totally uncontested with that. So if YoDa doesn't stop him very soon, then that Greater Spire is going to be put to use immediately. He looked for the dropship. He realized one was out there, but he missed it. Good control on the Mutas, though, not playing into the Marines. We've seen so many players do that recently.
He will see the dropship, though. There is an Overlord to the side. This is one of the things that BoongBoong did well in the past and does well again. He has a very, very good Overlord positioning. Those upgrades for YoDa are very strong, though. 3-3 started, so this will help. And in the middle of the map, this army has to run, and he saw... Please tell me you've seen this dropship. At the left side, it passed the Overlord, and yes, he already runs.
Yep. No, he didn't see it.
Oh, wow.
He was so focused on microing his units that he just didn't notice it.
Exactly.
And this could be a big problem for him.
That will be a big problem for him, because now the dropship is in the main base. He has a big fight, though, in the middle of the map. Those Mutalisks are trying to pick up the tanks. One is gone, and the second one dies too. The rest of the army is forced back in the main base. BoongBoong reacting like a panther. Immediately, those drones back to safety.
But if he loses the spawning pool before Adrenal Lance is done, that's really frustrating, and it looks like he will lose it.
Can't save it. He immediately started rebuilding another one.
Yeah.
He doesn't really pay too much attention to his Mutalisks at the bottom.
Yeah, that was not a good trade for him. YoDa takes his supply lead here, and with no spawning pool, not only can he not get the Adrenal Lance, but he can't make Zerglings right now. His Zergling count is still at 64, but he wants a little bit more. He can't really deny this creep with a small amount of Zerglings he has to map.
Oh, the Overlords! You see, Wolf, that's exactly why you don't want to be an Overlord. And they got lucky this time, and you know it.
This is a case of Overlord abuse again.
Overlord abuse.
Look at this flight pattern the Overlords take, though.
Look at that drop kill. Shuts it down like a boss. The Marines trying to do at least some damage. But yeah, with the fight just lost, or well, with the fight just happening, most of the Zerglings gone, having no spawning pool is a big, big deal.
Yeah, it certainly is.
What's your first answer that you have when your opponent is just dropping you everywhere?
Link.
It's Zerglings because they're mobile. That drop didn't have too much luck, heading into 2 Spangolars.
Yeah. The spawning pool has not restarted Adrenal Glands, in fact. And I don't even know where he remade it. Oh, there it is. There's base on the right side, which is also very exposed. But he needs to restart that Adrenal Glands upgrade. It's almost as if he didn't realize he couldn't finish.
Here comes YoDa's defense. BBoongBBoong trying to get in, but the split is good.
Really nice splitting here. That was excellent. But he's still actually traded really well and starts Broodlords and is link production up again. This drop is not going to do anything.
Yeah, that is YoDa just neglecting the needs of those Marines. Now he controls them, but that's a bit too late. BBoongBBoong flies his Mutalisks home, but here comes another attempt of YoDa to break the Zerg player. But BBoongBBoong is still 30-40 supply ahead of his opponent, doing a good job here, forcing it back, bungling, hitting a few medivacs, and forcing the Marines to fight, and that's not what they want to do here.
They definitely not a good bungle on the siege tank. YoDa is really down on the supply right now. He needs to actually get a fight in his favor, but BBoongBBoong is not letting him. 3-3 finishing up here. YoDa just not quite able to take out those infestors. They all escaped, and that's exactly what BBoongBBoong needs. He trades energy for units when YoDa is desperately trying to remax.
Even though he messed up with the build a tiny little bit, this game just shows how strong BBoongBBoong is. And of course, YoDa as well. YoDa is really doing a great job here with the drop attempts that he underwent earlier. The thing is that the early drops did a lot of damage, but after those, he lost drop ships to the Spore Crawlers, and the drops that he put into the main base got taken out by Spine Crawlers, and it just didn't really pay off for him anymore.
Yeah, you're right. That kind of situation makes you feel so frustrated too, where you're trying to, you've got the economy to remax out, but you can't just let him sit there. You're trying to move across the map, pick off Broodlords if you can find any. You don't have the economy to add Starports. You said now he's doing it, but he's going to sacrifice some of his army production to actually get that out. But every time he tries to move forward on the creep, BBoongBBoong is prepared, he's ready, and he can't actually do any damage. He finds an opening with a drop here, but how much is that really going to do with all the Spine Crawlers that BBoongBBoong already prepared?
He shouldn't do a lot. And here, the Zerglings, they are ready, and so are the... He doesn't even focus down the Mutalisks here, because he's focused on the attack at the right side of the map. But from 2 angles, he's being attacked now with Bungles, with Broodlords. Zergling's gonna stream in any seconds.
BBoongBBoong is just not hesitant to make spines, and those spines bought just enough time for YoDa's forces to actually not be able to do damage there. He killed every single spine, but by the time the spines were dead, the army was there to defend.
You know, this is a really good game that we are seeing here. YoDa is playing this well, and even though BBoongBBoong is shaping up to be a bit better on this map in particular, I feel that YoDa is doing his best to force him back here. He has 3 upgrades. His macro in this game was awesome. But
his multitasking is really good too.
He's just struggling to get the right composition and also to get the economy up to sustain his army.
I like his multi-prong attacks. For example, dropping in the main base, he's done this several times. He dropped in the main, then attacked the hatchery to the right side, trying to drop BBoongBBoong away. BBoongBBoong just has way too many Broodlords now. He's actually just going to focus down this planetary, and I don't think there's anything that YoDa can do to stop him.
He has the queens for the army already. Thanks to his creep spread, he's able to bring all of them, and they can just transfuse. And these units at the top of the double drop, they are missing. He's missing those units. He's already behind an overall supply, but this is definitely doing a number on him.
Yeah, he's going to be able to maybe target down the hive, but all the hive units of the tech is still already there, so he's not going to be in too big of a problem there. YoDa now drops down to about 100 supply. The hive will fall, but these units are trapped in the main, and until he kills the Ultralisk Cavern and the Greater Spire, the fact that the hive is not there is not really going to matter, since he already started plus 3/3, and he's got his Titanus plating.
Losing the hive is not going to matter if you are dying at home, and that's what BBoongBBoong is trying to do here. He's trying to just put on the pressure, take down everything on all those structures, and now the Zerglings that have been built at the top left take out this drop. And what is YoDa going to do now against this army that is currently eating away at his buildings and his production?
It doesn't look like he's going to have much of an answer at all. The last of the Marines are dead now. YoDa down to 91 supply. BBoongBBoong hovering around 170. He remakes his Baneling Nest. That's the only thing he really lost. But even without Banelings, it looks like he can just end the game. YoDa's got nothing but this small, meager defense. GG.
Game over, and BBoongBBoong takes win number 1 in the series, looking strong here.
Yeah, he wants to go into Code S, and he's one win away from doing just that. YoDa looked good. This is a tough map for Terran players, I feel, in the late game. It's so big, it's so hard to push across. It's hard to get drops out without your opponent knowing that they're coming.
Yep. It's a strong game that both of them played here. Grand Lagoon and how the map was played was in favor this time of BBoongBBoong. And I have to say that, I mean, I'm a little bit of a BBoongBBoong fan. YoDa is the one guy that really surprised me in the last season and did an awesome job in Code S and really showed himself. But BBoongBBoong, I know his story is just awesome. You know, he was always so close, and we talked in the past about it, but if he didn't really catch it, then just once again, YoDa, actually BBoongBBoong was one single map win away from going into Code S as well. And then he dropped out of the up and downs, went back into Code A, lost every single match, dropped down into Code B, and was able to win the next season. So this is one of those guys that just... He
bounces back.
Yeah, exactly. He bounces back, and you have to have so much fighting spirit to do that. If you were so close to get into Code S and then you drop down, same is true for a lot of other players that we had. Who was the one guy when Marine King wasn't able to win? Who was that? That was BBoongBBoong, right? It was the Marine King game.
To be honest, I can't remember that specific game.
That was Marine King against Ace, and we had a massive match
right.
with Ace and BBoongBBoong already. And then Marine King, in the same team as BBoongBBoong, had to face Ace as well, and Marine King being the high favorite. But Ace on this day was on fire, and Ace defeats Marine King, gets into Code S. BBoongBBoong is looking at this, is like, oh my god, this can't be true. Drops down in Code A again, drops down into Code B, and then he's back. And that's what I really appreciate in a player like him, that he just doesn't give up.
Yeah, he does not give up, man. He is so resilient. YoDa, on the other hand, comes here with a lot of history, a lot of experience as well. This is a pretty close series. I really like that we have players that are too similar. They're so evenly matched, facing against each other. It's hard to predict who's going to win. And BBoongBBoong, though, he's one game away. The map is in Tomb Valley. Not the easiest map in the world to play against a Terran. A lot harder than the last map we just saw. Can YoDa tie up the series here, or is BBoongBBoong going to close it out and get that Code S spot he's been wanting for so long? Let's find out right now. This is the GSL Code A Round 3 with Counter and Wall.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the